What really lit a fire into my ass was that my dad called me one day and he was like, Ian, you're out there on your own now. I'm doing this for you. I'm gonna cut you off financially because I think that's gonna be the best thing for you. I'm tearing up a little bit right now because I'm like, man, that really, really, really helped me. It didn't make me think like, oh damn, my life is over. It made me think in a way where it was like, if I don't get my shit together, I will literally go broke. And so I thought about what really made me happy, what I really wanted to do in life, and that was make stories and share them to people that would love them across the world. That day, I made a video just for that. It was like my own anime story idea. It was the first video that got 1 million likes, I think 10 million views, that I was really happy about.
Welcome to In Search of Excellence, where we meet entrepreneurs, CEOs, entertainers, athletes, motivational speakers, and trailblazers of excellence with incredible stories from all walks of life. Ian Boggs is one of the most successful influencers of all time. He has more than 30 million followers on YouTube, TikTok, Snap, and Instagram, and his videos have been viewed more than 30 billion times. Ian, welcome to In Search of Excellence. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me here. Let's get into it.
Your dad was born in Arizona and worked in the military in a high-tech job, and you moved around a lot as a kid. You were born in Japan, then moved to Hawaii, Italy after that, which is essentially where you grew up. Mm-hmm. Your mom was a stay-at-home mom. How did your parents influence your future, and how did it impact your success?
Well, one important factor was that my dad he was born in Arizona, but he grew up in Africa, in Kenya. And so, I think having grown up with a rough childhood and my mom kind of having been growing up in Japan, those two influences really worked. So I grew up with two different cultures in my life, like a white father who grew up in Kenya and a Japanese mother from Japan. And it's very like different. So for me, growing up with my father in the military, active duty still, growing up in Japan, Hawaii, Italy, really influenced me to see how big the world is. And I think in a way it catered to my content because I understand how people from all around the world work, and social media is an internet thing, not like a US thing. So it's like when I make content, I come in with a mindset that I'm making content for the entire world, not just for the US or whatever. And that in the long run kind of, I guess, helped me get those billions of views and hopefully 1 billion followers someday, we'll see.
Were your parents into photography at all, or how did you end up getting a camera when you were 5 years old? And tell us about the Legos you had.
Oh, yeah. So I actually haven't started sharing the story until recently, but I'm glad you remember that. My mom loved photography, and my dad bought her like this super expensive, super nice camera set, which eventually kind of became mine because I just used it more. And I remember like, I loved Legos as a kid, like a little kid, like as a 5-year-old probably. And I would grab these Legos and just like make videos out of them, but I would also like kind of burn them sometimes.
Burn them with a lighter?
Yeah, like a lighter or whatever.
Wouldn't the plastic smoke and smell bad?
Yeah, it smelled so bad, but for some reason it was like, I didn't have the budget to make special effects and I didn't know how to do that. So my only way to like make cool videos was, oh, I'm not putting this together. Like now I know how to make better fire than like sometimes even Marvel does in their videos, and just in my computer in my home. But yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't have the budget to like, or know how to make these cool videos and ideas that I had. So I would make videos of burning Legos with reason, like he got shot by a firepower or something like that.
All right, but you're 5 to 8 years old, you're shooting these videos. Where are you putting them? There's no YouTube back then, and it was just to put on a little camcorder and put on the TV and watch it on the TV?
Or not even watch it on TV, just watch it on the camera.
Like a little 2-inch screen?
See that I created something that can be eternalized in this form of content. And I guess I didn't really know that like as a kid, but now I'm like looking back like, wow, I've been doing this since I was like 5 years old or 8. I don't know how exactly I was, but yeah, around then.
So you've had a creative penchant since you were a kid. Tell us also how you were business minded as a kid, and walk us through 5 years old to 15 years old. What were you like as a kid? Were you social, going out, popular?
Yeah, I was really introverted as a kid. I like I didn't start doing sports until I was like I think middle school or so. But before that, I would like come home from elementary school and like play Roblox all the time. And I was just really always super creative. And my parents always pushed me to do that. So when it came to things like drawing, like I would submit to art contests and win a lot of them. Um, I I just always had a creative mindset, and my parents would always like enforce that in me. And so when it came to business, my dad always told me a saying where it was kind of like, always do what makes you happy, but make sure you're financially secure as well. Like make sure you're still making money. Um, and I think me having grown up like mowing people's lawns, my dad teaching me that nothing ever comes for free, um, even though he wasn't like crazy rich or anything, he would allow us to have allowances like for a month or so. And it taught me that growing up, like nothing ever comes for free. Um, and then when I went to college, I was 17 and I didn't have a chance to get my driver's license because I was growing up around the world. But even though I had no like real money, my dad kind of like sold me his like hand-me-down car that he still had in San Diego for like $100 because it's just like he would have given it to me for free, but he wanted me to know like nothing comes for free. So at least pay me $100 for this car, and I'm glad he did. Yeah.
So you mowed lawns. Did you knock on your neighbors' lawns door to door, or how did you get the business?
No.
Do you remember,
So
do
I
you
think,
remember how much you got paid for the lawns?
yeah, I remember like one day I made like $300 and I was so happy. But yeah, and
For mowing a lawn? A single lawn?
not just for mowing a lawn, but like this one guy, he lived across from us as a kid, as when I was a kid, and he saw me mowing my own lawn. I think my dad paid me like $5 for like a lawn mow. And then the neighbor right across from us like saw that happening and came over and like asked us like, "Hey, could Ian mow my lawn for I think it was $5 or $8 per like lawn mow." But then there was one day where he wanted me to like spray down the windows, like um, clean the backyard, like their dog poop, like so many things. And then it just like I think because he was moving away too, and he wanted to gift me something. He gave me $300, and I remember like posting about it on Facebook, like I just made $300 like in one day, and I was so excited. My mom was like, "You should never post about how much you make," and then at that point I was like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't share like the amount of money I make and all that kind of stuff. Be humble about it." Yeah.
I think humble's a very important part of our success. We're going to talk about that a little later in the show.
Yeah.
You moved around a lot as a kid, country to country. You speak multiple languages. Education, I think, is one of the most important ingredients of our success. I think it's the biggest investment we can make in ourselves.
Yeah.
You were a poor student for a while, 2.9 GPA.
Yeah.
And then something happened when you moved. How did you go from 2.9 GPA to 4.0 GPA taking AP classes?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't get it quite to 4.0. It was 3.7, but then
Oh
again,
man,
like
that's terrible.
Yeah, still going from a 2.9 3% was pretty cool. So like in Hawaii, education's not like the number one factor. For me, it was like sports, because I got into sports in middle school, swimming and track in particular, and surfing too. And so growing up, I was like, school's school. Like I would rather just like focus on my creative stuff and being a good athlete and working out. And then something happened where my dad got stationed in Italy, so of course we moved with him. And on these military bases, people come from all over the world, all over the country. And so on the military base I was living in Italy, that was the first time I heard about AP classes and like that you need good grades to go to college and get a good job. And I was like, what? That's crazy. And then I was in school, and all these like East Coast kids who obviously like know about the Ivy Leagues and all that kind of stuff were like becoming my friends through the swim team and all that. And I saw them study hard, and like that was a cool thing to do at this school. And so ever since I moved from Hawaii to Italy, I started taking every AP class I could, studying really hard, got a 4.0 or above every single year. And went from a 2.9 to a 3.7, I believe, when I graduated. So almost went to Berkeley, got waitlisted there, instead went to UCI, and I'm so glad I did because it was the epicenter of like LA, San Diego, and all the places that I love in California.
Right. So University of California at Irvine, for
Yeah.
those people who don't know and are not from California.
Yeah.
And you were studying biology,
Yeah.
studying to be a doctor, which is very different from what you're doing. Did your parents
Very
say, I want my son to be a doctor, like a lot of parents? Or what made you go
Yeah.
from being a doctor, want to be a doctor, to shifting to an entirely new career? Why did you stop?
So when I was in college, well, we'll go back to my senior year of high school first. So I I got caught cheating on a test, or attempting to cheat on a test.
That's not good.
It was not good at all. And I was on track to be student body president. And then I lost that. And I got so depressed. And I was like, man, like this little stupid like thing that I did lost me like this whole entire great thing I was gonna have that was gonna get me into all these colleges, whatever. But I'm actually thankful that happened because ever since that happened, I didn't cheat like once. And I was like, man, like this, because the truth is like everyone in high school cheats at least once on a test or a paper or whatever. And it's not anything to be ashamed of, it's just a human thing. But it taught me that like if you really want to be smart and really know your stuff, then don't cheat. Like really work on your stuff and your craft. So after that, I was like, what's the most like respectful career and most like earning career that I could go into that's going to be financially stable? And that was becoming a doctor. And I had grown up going to Africa a lot, like visiting family there and all that, and seeing the poverty there. And so I wanted to really help out and become not a doctor just for the money, but also join Doctors Without Borders. So I would go to the library when I got suspended for cheating and all that, and then just study up on all that stuff. And this is like, I'm drifting off right now, but I ran into this substitute teacher who really helped me out in school. And she was telling me that like her son got suspended from school for something really small too, and that's something to be ashamed of or whatever. And like that helped me so much. So I think it's like really helpful when adults are understanding to kids because that helps them in their career later on. So going back to my story, went into all these applications for college to become a doctor. Did my first year as bio in Irvine. Love the practicals, love the science of it. I love biology as a science, but I could not sit down and read a science book for a whole day for the life of me. And I would always like just drift off a little bit in lectures. So I came to a realization that like the thing that I love doing the most is making videos. It's what I've loved doing since I was a kid. I love acting, I love scripting, I love writing, I love doing all these things. The chances of me being a successful doctor making millions or whatever is probably like 1 out of a million, 2 million, 100 million, whatever. The chances of me becoming a successful director or a creative person is honestly probably around the same chance, same, if not harder. So why not go for the harder route that's really gonna make me happy, that may even help more people around the world with social media. And so that summer after my first year, I started posting a lot more videos. I saved up some money and bought a camera. And I think the first video I posted where I was just doing something that I thought was funny and cool, cutting my own hair and making fun of like alpha males on social media, went viral.
28,000 views.
Yeah, 28,000 views. Yeah, at that time it was 28,000 views. Good job, nice. And for me now, like viral is like 100 million views and all that, but it's a different world. And I remember like that happened and I was like, wow, it is possible to naturally, organically go viral and make people laugh or enjoy a piece of content online. So ever since then, I just kept posting videos, stuff started doing well, and switched my major from bio to film and media studies, and really worked on film and worked for other photographers and videographers and just honed on my craft. Yeah, so that, I suppose, the shift in mindset of like, you only get this one chance in life to chase what's really going to make you happy made me work even harder for what I wanted to do. And I just haven't stopped doing that since.
You're very business minded, and we've talked about that a little bit already, but I want to go back to cutting hair
Yeah.
in your dorm.
Oh, yeah.
My son goes to Menlo College, and there's someone in his dorm
Oh,
who
yeah,
cuts
I bet.
hair. I think he charges $35. There's shit all over the place.
I bet.
Cleaning
Yeah.
up. What was that experience like? What made you want to do it? And you also had another business as well in college.
Yeah.
That paid off your loan. So let's talk about those as well.
I'm really, I'm all about like creative businesses, especially now where the internet exists and social media, it's more popular than ever. When I had that video of me like cutting my hair go viral, people didn't realize that was my first time ever cutting hair. And I'm a perfectionist, so it took me 3 hours to like cut my own hair.
You cut your own hair. Did you use a mirror so you can see what you're doing?
Yeah, I didn't do this haircut on my own, but this was Dane Cuts. Shout out to Dane Cuts.
Shout out.
Yeah, it's how do I explain this?
I hope you're enjoying this video so far, but before we jump back in, I want to know if you've ever thought about what you need to do to reach the next level of success in your life. Over the last 25 years, I've been an advisor to more than 50 companies. I've invested nearly 100, including Google, Lyft, and Seagate, and I also co-founded a company that today is worth more than $15 billion. I've been incredibly blessed in my journey, and at this stage in my life, I want to give back. I want to share the lessons I've learned so you can reach incredible success way faster than I did. In my own journey, I've learned that having the right mentor is a massive advantage to achieving our goals. I'm hugely passionate about mentoring others, and I'm looking for a few hungry entrepreneurs who are excited to take action on their journey to incredible future success. So if that's you, I've got an opportunity. In the description of this video, there's a link where you can apply to work with me. All you need to do is answer a few simple questions, and if you're a good fit, my team will reach out so we can build a game plan together. All right, now let's get back to the video.
They were actually the barbers I went to when I was in college. So I loved their like work. So I was making a joke of like, I was trying to make fun of like alpha males that were like the thing on like social media back then, and do like a parody, but like cut my own hair and make it look cool in the same way. So I gave myself a fade and tagged Dane Cuts and was like, hire me, haha, lol, because I was still a broke college student. And then they responded back with like, we'll take you, I thought they're being serious, so I was like, I really need a job, can I do this? And they're like, well, you kind of need like training first and all that. And I was like, oh, okay. But after that, like all my friends started hitting me up for a haircut. And I was like, I'm not sure, like I just started doing this, but I'll charge $15 for a haircut just because I still don't know what I'm doing. They're like, sure, whatever. Came in, like gave them just like a 3 on the sides, like whatever. Like it's really basic, really. And not to discount the work of other barbers, but like for what they wanted, it was pretty basic. So I just did that and they were happy with it. And I was like, what the hell? I can make money doing this right now? Like I just picked up this skill like in 3 hours and now I'm making money off of it. But when it came to, I wasn't that passionate about cutting hair. What I was passionate about was making stories and making videos out of them. And at that time, my way of doing that was photography and videography. So I learned the business of it, like putting myself out there on Craigslist, on Facebook Marketplace, all these things, and eventually like becoming the graduation photographer of my college. Not from the college, I was just better than the college hired photographers. And so grinded on that, did like 100 graduation shoots in 1 or 2 months, I think.
That's a lot of dough.
Yeah, it was really good. I remember like my first $5,000 I made, I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I made $5,000, let's go. And he was like, I'm really happy for you, son, save that money up. And I was like, okay. My dad did help me a lot with paying for college because military helped with that. And then another part of it, my dad actually helped me out of pocket. But the remaining funds of it, I was able to pay off by doing my photography. And through doing that, through just talking to people at weddings that I shot for, which was also good dough, I got hired to do like these fashion shoots that was like, I think it was like 4 hours of shooting for $1,000. And at that time, that was like the most that I had made from photography. And I was like, 4 hours of shooting, $1,000? What? That's crazy. Did that, and I was like, this is insane. Like the amount of money you can make from just grinding on your creative aspects is insane. And so I can go into social media with this because it gets to like a crazy more amount of money, but it's like, it's not about the money. It's more about like, I was doing what made me happy and I worked hard for it. I think that's why the money came.
Right.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about creating content in general from a 30,000 foot view. There's a lot of people watching and listening who don't know who you are, haven't heard of you, haven't been following you on social media, but they've read about a lot of social media influencers making tons of money. They read Forbes, who now rank the top earning influencers. There's a guy named Jimmy Donaldson who goes by the name Mr. Beast on social media, who reportedly made $47 million last year. And these people, sometimes even me, they can't understand how influencers make this much money, and they say to themselves, this looks simple and easy. All you need is a camera and a tripod. You get one of those selfie sticks, and then you say a bunch of silly things. Can't anybody do this? And why not?
Well, the thing is, like, anyone can do it, but who's gonna be willing to like Jimmy just made a video where he spent 7 days underground. Like, who's gonna be willing to do that? Like, who's gonna be willing to sacrifice the time it takes to do this? Because Jimmy spent like a whole week underground. Not everyone's willing to do that. For me, it's like, when I was first really starting out on social media, here's what happened. So I wanted it so bad. The pandemic came. I was making good money from photography, my own businesses. I was on track to work for National Geographic. Like, my grandpa worked for National Geographic, so my dad grew up in Africa. Had the connections. I was doing travel photography. I was doing really well on social media for a photographer.
Right in college or in summers?
And this was like my senior year of college, right before graduating.
Okay.
My last quarter of college was when the pandemic hit. But that dream of becoming a social media content creator was always in my mind because I grew up with YouTube. And when Vine came out, I wanted to be big on Vine, but I was so young, I probably wasn't funny enough for the older audiences on there. And so when TikTok started going viral, my friends started going viral on it, I wanted it so bad. I remember the week of spring break, that was when the pandemic hit, and I was like, well, all my travel plans are gone. I can't do as much photography as I wanted to do. I will not make money unless I do something now. So honed in on what I'm passionate about and what I can make money from, and that was TikTok, social media. So I had 300 followers when I first started posting on TikTok, grinding. It was spring break, and I decided that I'll make a YouTube video called How to Go Viral on TikTok. And I decided to post 10 times a day, 10 videos a day, and just like try to go viral. Like, something has to go viral. I post 10 videos a day. And on my 4th day, I had a video go super viral, and I was like, what? That's crazy. After 40 videos of posting, like, something went viral.
What does that mean? Give us a sense of how
it was
many?
like 100K views.
Okay.
And for an account with like 1,000 followers, that's pretty good. And I remember, like, when you get 1,000 followers, you can go live. And so I remember, like, I wanted it so bad. I would like put the live facing me as I sleep every single night, and I would wake up to seeing how many like people were watching me and stuff.
So there's nothing going on. You're sleeping.
I'm just sleeping
in the dark or with lights on?
In the dark, just like
Okay.
I'm like, okay, good night, guys. Like, I was so responsive to my followers. I wanted my followers to feel like they know me, like, as a friend.
Right.
And I still kind of try to still do that. So I would go to sleep. I would have the live on me all night, wake up. And I remember, like, when I woke up to like 100 people watching me, because that's a lot for someone with 1,000 followers, I was like, something had to have gone viral. Something did. And it was just like a comedy video, like nothing I was really proud of, but it's often the ones you don't expect to go super viral that are the ones that do. So I kept honing in on that. A month goes by, I hit 100K. Another month goes by, I hit another 100K. Keep going. At 300K, I'm almost about to graduate. I gotta call my parents, and I'm like, Dad, like, I took the aptitude test for the military as like a backup. If I can go in, I passed everything with flying colors. I can go back to photography, I can go back to school, whatever, but I think I only have this one chance in life to like really make this happen. And I was crying on the phone, and my dad was like, Ian, if it's gonna make you happy, do it. If you can make money from it, do it. I believe in you. My mom was saying the same thing too.
So important.
So important.
four most important words of the English language, I think, are "I believe in you," and it's something incredible that parents can tell their kids. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's so like backwards to what most of society kind of like tells everyone, but from what I've heard from like even my friends that have grown exponentially, their parents were the same way, like supported them in what they wanted to do, but were realistic about expectations and goals. So like, yeah, you can go and pursue art, but if you don't think about business, of course you'll be a starving artist. Like you have to really like think about what's going to make you money. Otherwise, you can't have the security to be as creative as you possibly can. And I think that's really important. Well, I follow this 2-for-1 rule that my friend told me. She's also a big creator. And it's the 2-for-1 rule where for every 2 pieces of content you make that you know is going to do well on social media or whatever platforms you post on, post one thing for yourself. And whether that's like a creative thing or another direction, just do it for yourself. And eventually those two things will kind of level out. And I like that because it allows me to make money and still think about business while also pursuing the things that truly, truly make me happy inside and show my creative side, aside from just what I know is going to go viral.
So
Yeah.
when you reached 1 million followers,
Yeah.
you thought about quitting, you had a lot of anxiety. Take us through the 100,000 views here and there, and how long did it take you to get to 1 million, and why did you think about quitting? And I think it was your dad who said, don't quit.
Yeah. So my dad told me, Ian, get your head out of your ass. That's basically what he said. He was like, you can make money from this. You have 1 million followers. What the hell are you thinking? And at that time, like 1 million was a lot on TikTok. Now there's like 100 influencers with 1 million followers on TikTok. But at that time, like I was one of the, I guess, forerunners of like doing TikTok and having a thing on there. And that back then my thing was like comedy, anime, and teaching Japanese in a funny way. So when I hit 1 million, I had a lot of anxiety because, and this is on TikTok, because I had videos that got 1 million views before. I had gotten 1 million likes before, but people who follow me, it had never been 1 million before. And I was like, man, like, do I really deserve this? Like, I know I worked really hard for it, but that's a lot of people watching me. Like, I don't know if I can do this. I was just carrying in my head about like, do I really want to do this forever? Because the truth is, I wasn't happy about the content I was posting. It was just a way, it was a means to an end of, yes, I like making videos, but I don't want to be a Japanese teacher. Like, I don't want to, like, not that that's a bad job, but I don't want to like do that for the rest of my life. I want to act. I want to make videos. I want to make movies. And it's funny because at that time I had gone back to live with my parents for a bit to just save money and pursue this content thing in Colorado. Colorado's beautiful, but it doesn't have as many entrepreneurial people as California does. And that's where I was thriving. So came time for me to move out of my parents' house after being there for 5 months after graduating. Went back to LA. Had enough saved up to be good for a year.
What amount was that?
$20,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was all right. I could survive.
You're eating rice and noodles.
Yeah,
and
I was surviving.
Kraft macaroni and
I was
cheese.
literally like going like day to day, like rent to rent. I was surviving. I was cooking all I had visible abs because I was starving. Like literally, it was crazy. Like I wasn't starving. I was just really like grinding my ass off, and so that lit what really lit a fire into my ass was, can I swear on here? Is that fine?
Yeah.
Was that my dad called me one day and he was like, Ian, you're out there on your own now. I'm doing this for you. I'm going to cut you off financially because I think that's going to be the best thing for you. And he did that. And I knew that it would be because it would force me to like really work hard. I'm tearing up a little bit right now because I'm like, man, that really, really, really helped me. It didn't make me think like, oh, damn, my life is over. It made me think in a way where it was like, if I don't get my shit together, I will literally go broke. And so I thought about what really made me happy, what I really wanted to do in life, and that was make stories and share them to people that would love them across the world. And that day, I made a video just for that. It was like my own anime story idea. Put some cool B-roll on it, filmed it with my camera that not many people were doing on social media, had some good lighting on it, posted it. It was the first video that got 1 million likes, I think 10 million views, that I was really happy about. Like I was genuinely happy about. It was a completely original idea. Like people loved it. And then I just kept doing videos like that for I think like a good 6 months every single day, 1 or 2 videos just like it. And then I went from 3 million to 10 million in just 6 months. And then that of course grew my Instagram and my TikTok. So my TikTok went from my YouTube went from like 13K to I think 3 million in 6 months. And then the year after, 3 million to 10 million. Now it's at 15 million. TikTok's at almost 15 million. Instagram's at 1.7. And it's just like, the numbers don't matter, but they're a good source of knowing how much people like your content. And if what you're doing makes you happy and people are happy watching it. And so that's what I look for in the numbers. I'm like, okay, it's grown and I'm also happy. So that's cool.
Let's go back to something you said, because I think it's something most people wouldn't think about. You said you had a lot of anxiety when there were 1 million users. Why? Were you afraid that you were influencing a huge number of people and may not be doing the right thing by now?
I think it was also the hate too, like the hate comments.
Okay.
Like I made some cringy videos for sure.
This episode of In Search of Excellence is brought to you by Sandee.com. SANDEE.com. We're a Yelp for beaches and have created the world's most comprehensive beach resource by cataloging more than 100 categories of information for every beach in the world, more than 100,000 beaches in 212 countries. Sandee.com provides beachgoers around the world with detailed, comprehensive, and easy-to-use information to help them plan their perfect beach getaway at home and abroad, and to make sure you're never disappointed by a beach visit again. Plan the perfect beach trip today by visiting Sandee.com. That's www.sandee.com. The link is in our show notes. Stay sandy, my friends.
People say like, don't call your own content cringy, but if you know some of your content is cringy, like screw it, like call yourself cringy, like embrace your cringe. And so posted some cringy videos, like of course some comments were like, wow, what's this, like who is this guy, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, man, like I don't want 1 million people saying that to me, but I had to realize like, no, the millions of people are the people who like you. They wouldn't hit follow unless they liked what you do. And if anything, people commenting stuff like that like you even more than the people who genuinely like you, because they're supporting you in a way that like is stronger than love. Like hate, I think, is sometimes or oftentimes stronger than love. And so the fact that like they're hating on your stuff, it's a result of what's inside of them, not what's inside of you, because you're the one putting yourself out there. You should own that. And so for me, like once I made that shift, I was like, oh my God, like I can, like the world is your oyster. Like just do what you love and be the best at it and work harder than anyone else in the world will at it.
You still have the haters now. You probably have a lot more haters, but and does it bug you? I mean, do you go to bed thinking about, it's terrible?
I look at the first like 5 minutes of comments and then I'll go back to it probably the day after or like even a month after, because I think it can be unhealthy to check comments a lot. People will think what they think about your content regardless, and they'll comment whatever they want to comment. And that's just a matter of them and what they feel. To me, it's more about now, like, what do I love doing that, of course, will still financially provide me and make my followers happy, but also, like, make me happy. And as long as those 3 things are met, I could care less about what anyone has to say about my content, good or bad. Yeah.
There's so much now about people having teams. And their social media teams do all the commenting. So it's not really you. It's somebody else. Do you have people who work for you who do all the comments, or
the comments, like that's me still.
But how do you have time to engage with 30 million followers on multiple platforms? That would take you 10 hours a day to comment on the comments. But
true. Yeah, if I were to want to go in and like look at all the comments, it would take forever. Like nobody has time for that. But then again, like a month later, I'll come back to a video and it's like, oh, like this video did really well. Let me see what's happening down here. Of course, some of the comments are good. Some of the comments can be like, what is this? And then like, It is what it is. But yeah, I'll try to like respond to like the comments that I like that come in within the first like 5 minutes of a video being posted and show some love, because obviously I wouldn't be here without my followers, and that's why I always thank them. And I think more content creators and influencers should thank their followers, because it's a two-way road. Like, you can't have one without the other. And so yeah, I genuinely think more influencers and content creators should thank their followers more.
So I've got a podcast, I have a YouTube channel. I'm late to the game on my podcast, 3 years coming up. And again, I appreciate you being here. You're the youngest guest I've ever had.
Oh, let's go.
So pumped about that. And obviously I want to grow mine. And I want to be one of the top 10 podcasters. I've had some amazing guests like you. I'm a little late in the game, but I get approached every day. I mean, I have 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, maybe more right now. They see I have a podcast. They see my guests because we post the guests.
Yeah.
I get approached every day. Let me help you with your social media. We've met with probably 10 people, my team and I, people who will refer to us and people who use, and they will charge for the followers. They will charge for the likes, and they have, and it's, I mean, from what I understand, and I've talked to my friends in the podcast business, some of them in the influencer business, people buy followers. People spend tens of thousands of dollars a month. I get business plans where you say, all right, we'll get you 100,000 followers. You can then get people to sponsor, advertise, and they actually show the graph where if you invest $100,000, here's what you're going to start to get. And we said no to all that. I'm never going to do that. Organic. What do you think about that whole industry? And do you know Instagrammers who started out doing that? Do you need to do that to be successful when you start out?
No, it doesn't make sense. As someone who like literally, like when I was younger, I didn't know about this stuff, and I was like starting to make money from like my part-time job. And so I was like, oh, maybe it would help my business. So I think I bought like 100 or 1,000 followers. Like, this is like way back before I was even doing this full time. This is like, I think I was like 18 or something. And I bought like a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 maybe. And then like did the free, like the likes app. You like someone's photo, they give you a like back or something like that.
Right.
And
they don't like that anymore, by the way. Instagram hates the app.
Oh, yeah, it will not.
Yeah, they don't let you do it anymore.
Yeah, and I'm glad they do that. And same with the followers thing, like Instagram will delete those followers. Like, I'm pretty sure any followers I bought, those accounts are deleted. They're just bots. And this was like way back before I even knew how to do social media. And the reason why I don't like those things, and I tell my friends never to ever buy followers or anything, is because it's not gonna be real. Like, would you buy a fake apple and eat it? No, you would never do that, because that would kill you or get you sick. And like, same thing with buying the fake stuff. Like, you buy some fake followers, what's that gonna do? Your likes aren't gonna go up because they're fake.
Oh no, you can buy the likes too.
Like,
we met with like consultants, and it's a whole thing. And yeah, we can't get caught. We use VPNs. We have all these accounts. And I said, it sounds sketchy. Oh no, everybody does it.
Literally saying you can't get caught is just like blatantly saying we're lying here. Like, it's so, yeah. I know everyone gets those emails, because I still get those emails. Like, if your email's on your platform and you have a platform, like, people are going to try to sell whatever they can. And I see those and I'm like, what are you guys doing, man? Like, don't do this. It's a scammy business. It's a scam business. It's what it is. So I don't do that. I know that for me and anyone else that I know, and like anyone who's big, they do not do that. Like, no one, that's not a thing to do for sure. It's just not organic.
Yeah. Can you explain how the whole social media industry works from a financial point of view? How you get paid? Who pays you? Do the platforms be different? And how do you make money on this?
You can make money a numerous amount of ways on social media. If you've grown your platform and you've grown an organic platform that really likes you. One way is merch. A secret for now, so we're going to keep that on the side. You guys can wonder what it is, but I'll just point to my eyes and you'll probably know.
You shared it with me. It's very exciting, by the way. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. The other way is AdSense, obviously. Like, the biggest creators I know, myself included, make a lot and the most from AdSense. It's the most stable amount of income.
Okay, so most people don't know what that is. If you're not in a
Yes.
business, you have no idea. If you're in a corporate job, you have no idea.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here? What is it? How does it work?
Yeah.
Who helps you with it? And what's the math?
So on YouTube, you're able to make money off of your videos after you reach a certain following and a certain amount of like view time on your videos. And for 8-minute videos, you can put in as many ads as you want to, but obviously you don't want to scare away your viewers with too many ads.
But wait, so do people come to you when you have videos? Does Google say, okay, now we can make money? Or
So you gotta-
how do you know? Do you reach out to people?
You got to reach a certain threshold, and the way
What's the threshold typically?
I think it's like 4,000 hours of watch time and then 10,000 followers or something like that, which I think makes sense because you gotta like, it's an achievement, like unlockment. Like it's like I worked hard for this. Now we can trust this profile is gonna keep posting, so we can trust to put ads on it as Google, as a company. 'Cause it's also a two-way road. Like Google makes money, we make money. It's a creator-based economy, which I really like and I understand. So with the AdSense, you can, whenever you click on a YouTube video, and it's a viral video, most of the time it's going to have an ad play at the beginning, couple in the middle, and then one at the end of the video. And each of these ads has like a certain amount of like money attached to it. I won't disclose that because I don't want to, everyone's is different.
Okay.
But
Give us a sense of the average.
I want to say, I don't know. It's just so everywhere. You can look it up online, but it's
Okay.
like, it's
Well, take a guess. I mean, take yours and divide by some big number.
I don't feel comfortable sharing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like you'll make a certain amount of money from your videos because each ad will have a certain amount of money attached to it. And
Meaning the company will pay Google a
Yeah,
certain
so-
amount of money to get a certain amount of views.
exactly. So any kind of ad, like you could go into Google right now and put in an ad video, like an ad roll in there, and then put the money in there, like add in some money, and it's like the drop shipping method of when people do Facebook drop shipping and all that kind of stuff. Like they'll put in a certain amount of money to have the video go across a certain amount of videos or the ad, and then that money gets dispersed towards Google and towards the creator of the video. So that's one of the most stable ways of making money, because if you have a engaging audience that watches your videos and you get X amount of views per video, then you can expect to make a certain amount each month because the views per month are usually around the same. You get a certain amount of money from each video, and now even with shorts you're able to make money because I think it's like for every 4 videos there's an ad playing.
So tell people what a short is as well. So there's
So-
a long form video, which
Yeah.
is, what is that? Is that 4 to 20 minutes? And then what's a short?
I say a long form videos, it's technically anything that's horizontal over like 30 seconds, I think, but I count it as like an 8-minute video, because with 8-minute videos you can put mid-roll ads, which are ads in the middle of the video, wherever you want to.
In this mid-roll, are people who are coming to you as sponsors directly and say, I want to be in your show? Or
So they
do you
don't,
have a manager?
do that. Well, I mean, there are that. Those are brand deals. So I've done a couple brand deals where like a brand comes to us, and then like my managers will go back and forth with a price range, and like we'll negotiate, and then we'll discuss on the video and like how to go about doing that. And for me, I always try to make it natural and make sure that I like the product before I do something with it. Like 3 good examples were like Marvel, Netflix, and Old Spice. They were great to work with. It's Google as well. I did a show with them, an animated show where I was the voice actor for it, but also did some brand deals with them, and we're currently doing one right now, and it's been great. Y'all have all been great. Definitely want to keep working with you. But they were great because they gave me a good amount of creative freedom, and my audience liked the products as well, and they already use them. Like we all already use Netflix, we already use YouTube and Google. A lot of guys use Old Spice, girls too, and then Marvel. I just genuinely love Marvel. I want to act in Marvel someday. That's some of my goals. So those are brand deals, and they get put into the video. But with AdSense, it's an ad from a company paying to have their ad, like a commercial, played before X amount of videos in X category. So for me, like, I'll probably have like a Netflix show commercial play before one of my videos because it's around the same same niche of my videos, storytelling and TV and film.
So you've got merch, you got advertisers,
Yeah.
you have sponsorships.
Yeah.
Are there sort of fourth or fifth way to make money as an influencer?
I mean, it's endless. Like anything you can think of that you can sell, you can do.
Right. You
Because
got
it's
a
your
lot of
own
free
business.
shit too.
Yeah, you get a lot of
shit.
free stuff.
What kind of stuff do people send you?
Shoes, shirts. This shirt was free, Hypeland. And it's they did a Mortal Kombat Hypeland collab, and they sent me a bunch of shirts. Shout out to Hypeland. They're always sending me some really cool stuff. I don't even have to make a video for it because it's beneficial for me to wear something that I like to something
Right.
like this, where it's gonna get exposure anyways. And I'm not selling it. It's just like me. I like this product. It feels nice, and I'm gonna wear it. Same with like Nike shoes. Like it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna wear them because they feel nice and they feel
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that, but there's another one. I think you can do affiliate marketing. I don't do that right now, but you can, like, I know a lot of people do it on Amazon. Fashion influencers do it. They have a product they already like that they paid their own money for, but they'll link it to their video so that viewers can go watch it, and they'll make a certain percentage, 5, 10, 15% on the sale of the product. And if 1 million people buy that product, that's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Anything you can think of, if you're being a genuine person and you're doing what you love, like, you're gonna end up making money from it. That's what I've learned.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of coaching and mentoring. I have a summer intern program. We have 36 kids every summer.
Another way to make money as a creator too. But
What, to have an intern program?
well, yeah, I mean, like, teaching school. Yeah, that's, sorry I interrupted, but that's like another thing that people do is like teach social media courses, and they make a lot of money from that. I was thinking about doing that soon, but we'll see. Yeah.
So that's a great way. But
Yeah.
I always ask students to rank what's most important to them, right? I mean, a lot of them have this anxiety. Most of them, 100%. I don't know what I want to do. I'm graduating college. I'm entering the real world. And I ask people to rank what they're doing. And they always rank money number one. And passion is way down on the list.
Damn.
So a lot of social media influencers, I think, have the perception, you tell me if this is true or not, but they see people like you making millions of dollars a year, driving Lamborghinis, spending money on jewelry and all this stuff.
I don't drive a Lambo or buy jewelry, but well, sometimes, but it's cheap. Yeah.
But they're motivated by the money. Should you be motivated by the money as an influencer, and can you be successful if you don't have the passion for what you're doing and you're just in it for the money?
Should you care about the money? Hell no, absolutely not, because that's gonna pinhole you and drive you to the ground if that's all you care about. For me, money was a necessary factor. It was a necessary factor because I needed it to survive when I first came out to LA. It was a drive, but what was more important to me was how can I make money while doing something that makes me happy and makes others happy too, because giving back is important to me. And so, yes, keep money in the back of your mind because it is the life energy of this world. You need it to survive. You need it to exchange for certain things. I finished reading this book called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I don't know if you read that. It was really good. I identified with a lot of it, but it mentioned that, like, very briefly, because it wasn't about money, like that money is one of the life energies of this world, and it's a tool. Like, you need it to survive. You need it to sometimes get the things you need. Food. It doesn't always come for free. So yeah, you need it, but, like, don't make it your end all be all. You have to figure out what makes you happy and become the best at it. Figure out once you're able to get a little success off of it, success being you're happy, you're able to survive off of it, and you're able to help others with it, then figure out how you can make money from it. Because for me, I didn't do a single brand deal between, I think, 3 million followers on TikTok to, I want to say 6 or 7, because I wanted to have a really strong core audience, and I didn't want to make them feel like they're following me for me to sell them anything. And in that way, when I did start doing brand deals, the videos still did well because I wasn't doing one like every single month or every single week. Now I kind of have been, and it's been fun, it's been good, but I've been doing it in a way where I think I'm evening it out with this content that I like doing, and it's not doing too bad, it's doing pretty good. So yeah, I don't think money should be at the top. I think it should be somewhere in the middle for sure, but passion should not be at the bottom, it should be at the top.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm curious, how old were these like people that you asked, or did they come from school, or?
They're my summer intern program. Are freshmen, people who completed their freshman year.
College.
College up until their junior year. But I do a lot of coaching as well. So I've coached, I don't know at this point, 500 or 600 people throughout the years. People coming to me for advice. I mean, I love to give back. I mean, I didn't come from a lot, and I'm self-made. And lots of people help me. I mean, you have to earn the mentorship and earn the help.
Yeah.
But I truly love to help people, which is one of the reasons, the main reason I'm doing the show, is to influence and positively motivate people to be the best that they can be. But so many people, mid-career professionals, professional athletes who are finished with their careers, assistants. And I always say, well, I don't know what I want to do. I'm not happy in my job. Most people are not happy in their job.
Yeah.
And they come and say, what would you do?
Yeah.
So, well, what do you want to do? What makes you happy? Rank the things that make you the most happy, what your own goals are.
Yeah.
So money is always number one when they're younger.
Yeah.
When they're maybe in their 20s to 30s, learning opportunity is big.
Yeah.
And people say, you learn in your 20s, you earn in your 30s. I've heard that before. And I think just people have different perspectives on what's important to them when. I mean, some people's location, it's city, it's mentorship, personal growth, health of company, risk, but money's always in their top 5. But it skews, it starts at the top and then it moves south from there.
Yeah, because like,
by the way, passion's never even on the list until we talk about it.
Really?
Surprisingly. I mean, people don't use the word passion.
Yeah.
They say, well, I need to like what I do. Well, there's a difference between like.
Yeah.
So like could be on the scale, I like not 1 through 10 because I like getting very granular. So 1 through 10 scale, I don't like. I say 1 to 1,000.
Yeah.
Where does passion sit? Right? And
Interesting.
it really gets people to focus on where passion should be.
Yeah. Because I think like passion is, I see passion as life purpose. So like for me, my passion is creating stories, creating universes, creating worlds. And right now I'm writing a movie. And it's got all the things I'm passionate about, like spirituality, like we don't want to get too into it, but it's like young adult dystopian. Like it's very, I don't know, it's just all the things that I love in a story that I'm putting together that I want to put a lot of money that I made, that I saved up into, but only because it's something I'm passionate about. So yeah, it's just crazy for me to hear that, because I'm thankful for my parents who always pushed me to go for my passion. And I think every parent should do that, but in a realistic way. Because if you're just like, you can do anything you want to do and not worry about anything, then they might get a little too not worrisome. But I think a little bit of worry is important, because you do have to make money to survive, but passion's got to be up there.
So we all have personal dreams in terms of money, and we all have some personal goals. We'll get into the specifics of that. In a minute, but what was the feeling when you'd made your first $1 million?
I didn't even know, because I was just like grinding and I don't even want to say grinding. I was doing what made me happy, which is making videos. I was like, I wasn't even looking at the numbers or my like bank account until, I didn't know I made $1 million until I looked at my like AdSense, and I had seen that in the past year, it had made over $1 million. And I was like, I didn't know that until my partner manager at YouTube showed me, and I was like, oh shoot, no way, that's crazy, cool. But it's not that I didn't care. It was more like the money is just, it's a tool for me. It's a tool for me to refund into my business. That's what I've been doing since I've ever made money. Like, what did I do with the money I made in college? I bought a camera, bought a lot of gear, and invested it back to my products. Like Jimmy, Mr. Beast talks about this too. It's like every piece of money he made from his videos, he just threw it back into his videos and made them better, and made more money from those videos and made better videos. And that's kind of like what I'm trying to do right now, where I just hired a editor who is better than me. And I want to keep hiring people who are better than me in certain things that I do, because once I do that, the stories will get better. The last thing I'll give up is writing and acting, because I love writing, acting, and directing. But eventually I know like I'll have to do that to build teams. Like Calvin's my assistant, he's also my best friend, and he's just been working really hard, and I love that. My managers work really hard, and it took me a long time to find managers that I really, really like. And same like TV and film agents, they're awesome. And who else is there? People who do distribution work for me. Like, it's just like the team's coming together, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm also watching One Piece for any anime fans out there, and that show is all about teamwork, and like teamwork makes the dream work. And it's cheesy, but it's so true. So I did everything on my own to achieve my first, I guess, couple of millions, and now I know that if I want to keep growing and keep doing what I want to do and not become stagnant, I have to keep hiring people and keep finding people that I want to work for me, because that's just inevitably going to make the business better. Yeah.
So I could be dead wrong about this, but I don't think people, in particular your very young demographic, are going to relate to you in your videos when you're 35 years old. So how do you think about that? And do you have a detailed and written 5 to 10 year or 30-year plan for where you want to be career-wise and family-wise?
Yeah, so right now my videos are, at least on YouTube, catered to a younger audience. And
for those people who don't know, what's your typical age demographic?
It's interesting because my manager actually sent me a list of like, it was a funny list where I think it was a popular magazine website, and they were like the most popular influencers that your kids love, but you probably never heard of. And I was on there, but my manager thought it was funny because in my analytics it shows that my age demographic is like sometimes even in the 30s. And so for me, like, I try to make videos that anyone can enjoy. And granted, like, the majority of them are kids, because kids own social media. Like, they are the bread and butter of social media. They're the ones that are on it all the time. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that that is the majority of my audience, because I can grow with them. And as I grow out of like making these skits and like POVs, I do a lot of skits, POVs, like storytelling videos, a lot of cool VFX, and I just try to make stories that can make someone watch and follow along and be like, wow, that's a cool story. So I think there's a reason why there are like 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, sometimes even in the 60s, that are just like watching my videos out of the fun of it, because it brings them back to that childhood like nature and that childlike mindset of like, man, I remember having this cool curiosity about like fantasy worlds and all that when I was a kid. And I like to bring back that nostalgia in my videos. So that's why right now I'm writing a movie, because I want to channel a lot of the funds that I've been making into a big budget, high production, high quality, my videos are already pretty high quality, but like a high quality movie that I can premiere to places and just really like take my time on. So eventually that's what I want to do. I want to build franchises, and I want to build, because I have all these worlds I've created in my brain that I've written down. I do write down my manifestations and goals, short term, long term, longer term, a lot. And ever since I've been achieving all the goals that I've written down, I write little mini goals on how I'm going to achieve them. And so with this movie, the reason I don't want to talk about it too much is because I want to put in the action for it. But currently getting pretty good with writing it and learning about writing from my writer friends who go to like USC or even like have written for these crazy networks. And it's been interesting because I'm learning a new skill and it's building upon the skills that I've learned from social media and making videos on there. So when I'm 35, yeah, maybe they won't be watching my videos that I post on YouTube, but I might be making a completely different type of videos that they will want to watch by the time that I'm 35 and they're in their, I don't know, teens, 20s, 30s, 80s, 90s.
Are you looking for your next great gift to surprise a friend, colleague, or loved one? Bliss Beaches makes the perfect gift. This best-selling bright and beautiful coffee table book by Randall Kaplan features stunning drone photography from exotic beach locations around the world. It's the perfect housewarming gift, a great addition to any home or office, and a fun and creative alternative to bringing a bottle of wine to somebody's house for dinner. Bliss Beaches is available for purchase on Amazon, where it has glowing reviews and a 5-star rating. Get your next amazing gift and order a copy of Bliss Beaches by clicking the link in our show notes.
I mean, a lot of influencers have what I call a short shelf life, right? They're not going to, they may be popular at 18, 19 years old. They don't think about their future. What they're doing is not going to be popular.
Yeah.
They spend all their money. Do you have a 10-year, a 5-year, do you have a 5-year, 10-year, and 30-year-old plan for where you want to be? And did you write it down?
That's a good question because I do have the goals written down, but I haven't written actually, wait, no, I think I did in my notes. Not in this phone, but in the one I have at home. I did write down where I want to be by the time I'm either 30 or 40. I think 40 is more realistic for me. I want to be a billionaire. So
By what age?
I'm going to say 40. I'm going to say 40.
I love it.
Yeah. I want to be a billionaire before 30. I mean, before 40. Because not chasing the money, but because I know that going for $1 billion will mean that it's going to motivate me to create better stories that'll reach a much wider audience than just what social media can offer me, and make me aim to entertain people from all around the world. I know I already do. I know my YouTube channel alone has, I think, over 10 billion views now, but I know that it's time for me to start making like bigger budget franchises and all these like big things. So I think that's what I'm going to work on. So I've written little goals and here and there for what year I want to achieve, like making this movie, like
Top 5.
top 5
Yeah.
goals.
Yep.
Movie
By what age?
by 27.
So you got 2 years, less
yeah.
than 2 years
Give
ago.
myself 2 years, yeah.
Well, you're 20. Okay, so you're 25
just
right
25,
now.
yeah.
Okay, 2 years on that one.
Yeah. I wanted to be a millionaire before I think I was like 23 and that happened. And then other ones, I've achieved a good amount of them. One was 10 million on TikTok and that happened. 10 million YouTube, that happened. Now I'm aiming for
10 million followers. Or
yeah,
$10 million.
10 million followers.
Okay.
That was on TikTok and on YouTube. And then I want to hit 30 million on YouTube also before 27. And
You have any family goals?
I want to buy them a house. I just helped my parents buy their forever home in Japan. I'm gonna make a video about that.
What a great feeling.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. That was one of my goals. That's honestly probably like number one right there. And I want to take another future goal. I just had it in my brain. Build a franchise. Build a franchise like Star Wars or Marvel, because that's what I grew up on and that's what I've loved. And that's honestly, Stan Lee was probably my biggest inspiration when it comes to building out worlds and superpowers and superheroes. That's what, I mean, it was crazy because yesterday we were doing a photo shoot at the Union Station, and this whole school passed by, and one person was like, wait, is that Ian Boggs? I just got a haircut. I used to have like long, luscious, like platinum white hair, cut it all off. So they're just like looking at me like, is that Ian? And then the whole school started shouting like, oh my God, Ian Boggs. Calvin was there too. I just posted a video about it. But they wanted to take a picture, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Because to be honest, I was feeling a little anxious today. I was like, past couple of days, I was like, man, like I wanna make this movie, but I know I gotta like keep working on my social media too, and I love what I do, but I need to find balance. And so when this happened, it was a good feeling because I was like, when you're doing social media and you're getting these views, you don't see them as people necessarily on the platforms. It's just numbers going up. But when you see them in person, I mean, it was probably like 30, 50 students or so, I'm not sure. When I saw them there, like 30 to 50 students just all like lining up to take photos with you, like rushing towards you, that's a lot. Like it seems like a lot. And even when I was doing I was talking in front of a stage for Netflix in front of like 3,000 people. That was a lot. That was like crazy. I was like, what? This is 3,000 people? Like even just like imagine filling a stadium with 1 million people. That'd be insane. And so when a video gets millions of views, I mean, my most popular video has almost 200 million views now. It's like, what kind of number is that? It's incomprehensible. So when you see,
That's nearly a third of the it's nearly most of the population of the United States.
yeah, it's insane. And so when I like see just 30 or 50 of these kids that are in front of me wanting to take a photo, it's just like, damn, like that gives me the sense of impact that I'm giving towards like this community. And so it was a very rewarding feeling. And yeah, I think one of my goals is to just build a really strong community of people that love stories. That's my main goal for sure.
I think it's so important to write down personal goals
Yeah.
and financial goals. My goal since I was 14 years old was to make $1 million before I was 30 years old.
Yeah.
And that was just a goal of mine. And I had a lot of mentors growing up, or people that I would meet with. I met with this guy named Bill Davidson, who owned the largest glass company in the world. He made windshields for 70% of the world's cars. Detroiter, he owned the Detroit Pistons at the time. And I remember going in to meet him, and big office, man, it was like 10 yards long. I remember walking there with my hand out. It took forever. And at the end of it, I said, when you were younger, did you ever think you'd be a billionaire? And he looked at me and leaned across and said, I never doubted it for a minute.
Nice.
And that was a huge moment for me, because I think we all need personal goals. I think one of the ways to achieve our personal goals, it's something that I've been teaching called extreme preparation. And extreme preparation means preparing in a way that nobody else does. So if someone prepares 1 hour, I may prepare 40 hours.
Yeah.
And I've been teaching this technique, and I'm writing a book on it. I'm going to do some paid corporate speaking on it as well. How has extreme preparation led to your success? And can you talk about some of the times where you weren't so prepared and what happened?
I mean, you remind me of a story that so during that time that I had the anxiety when I first hit 1 million followers, and my dad told me, Ian, get your head out of your ass, you can do this. I've always been a profound like advocate for writing your goals down. And so I think that night I went to my journal and I wrote down all my goals, and one of them was making $1 million before the end of the year. And one of them was making $1 million, one of them was getting to 5 million followers before the end of the year on TikTok. Wrote down all my goals, how I'm gonna achieve them, everything like that, and put it on a piece of paper, and accidentally left that paper out on the table in the dining room when I went to go to sleep. When I came down the next day, I was like, oh shoot, I left that paper out there. Did you guys see it? And my mom was like, yeah, we saw it. Dad thought it was cute. They put it on the fridge, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta make this happen now. And so I wrote those down. January rolls by, at the end of the year rolls by, and I got into 9 million followers, 10 million followers in January. So basically doubled that goal. And then I made $1 million shortly after that. And so I think when you make realistic goals leading up to your big goal, it makes them seem that more achievable. And I try to do that every couple of months, because obviously like your mind shifts, you become a different person every like month. And so I haven't done that in a good 2 months. I'm gonna do that tonight probably.
Hit it.
A good reminder, yeah.
Hit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Even though I already had the ones from like last month, but it's like things shift as you learn and as you grow, so you got to
Right.
constantly be doing them. So I think that's one of the ways that I do overachieving.
I want to talk about extreme preparation as
Oh,
well, though.
yeah,
I mean, talking about preparing for something that no one else does. I mean, that means you
Oh,
have a
yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, how has extreme preparation led to your success? And then talk about
Yeah.
one or two times where you didn't prepare as much, and then what happened?
Um, I didn't. So I did a interview like section for Netflix where we had to talk in front of 3,000 people, and it was for Netflix's anime event, and I didn't get much time to prepare for it as I guess I would have needed, but I can't blame it on anyone except for myself because I mean I could have stayed up all night and memorized the cards and all that kind of stuff. And I could have been better at preparing myself more to become a better speaker for 3,000 people. But I was so focused on my videos at that time that I just didn't give myself much time to prepare. And it still did well. Like I still got a lot of like applause and people coming up to me and saying that was a great job and all that. But I knew in my mind that I could have done better. And so ever since then, I've been trying to like really over prepare for so many things because I mean, it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. And I had a speech for I think NOS Daily. They had the NOS Summit kind of thing. It's like a TED Talk for that they're starting. It's really cool. And I gave a speech on. It was titled "How Death Led Me to 30 Million Followers," and it was a very catchy title. So I like really try to make sure that this presentation was good, all that kind of stuff. Didn't have quite enough time to memorize all the cards yet, but I could feel a difference in myself between that speech and what I was able to give to Netflix. And I love Netflix so much and all that, but I wish I could have given a better speech, but that's on me. And so it was a learning lesson and learning curve for me to be like, okay, I was underprepared for this. Now I need to be overprepared for everything. And next speech I do, I'm going to try to be off book and plan like weeks ahead. And just once that opportunity comes through the window, immediately like write down the speech and just memorize it immediately. Yeah.
Let's talk about mental health. There was a piece in the Wall Street Journal 2 days ago that said in 2022, 50,000 suicides in the United States alone, which is the highest rate in 83 years since 1941. You came close to killing yourself 2 years ago, jumping off of a bridge. You were there. What were you thinking when you looked down, and why were you so depressed that you were thinking about everyone thinks you're famous, you're good looking, you're rich, you're seemingly very happy, and you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking? Why were you thinking that, and what saved you?
Yeah, so I think it was actually, it's about 5 years ago. I was in college. I was an RA working full time. For those who don't know what an RA is a resident advisor. They take care of the freshmen in the dorming community. So I had about 50, 60 residents, but I had the coolest hall. So that means I had like 100 residents to take care of. And you're basically like the parent, older brother, mentor, therapist to all these students. And I loved the job. It was awesome. But when you live where you work and you're constantly around your coworkers all the time, and they're not your chosen coworkers, and I'm not complaining, but it's just like it was an environment that really like made me have a lot of stress. Probably for the better because it made me a stronger person. But that on top of the switching from bio to film and media, I had to catch up on units, taking 20 plus units at a quarter-based UC system. It was a lot. I was also doing photography full-time, working part-time job at the gym, like just way too much. I had no time for myself. Wasn't doing what made me happy. So I got really stressed out and really depressed and really anxious and just nervous about life. And when I turned 20, I had all these unrealistic expectations for myself that I was like, I wanted to be like kind of famous on social media. I want to be making this much money and all that. But I wasn't. And I was really stressed out and had no time to myself. So I was at a point where I was walking past this bridge to get from one part of the campus to the other. It can be a shaky bridge sometimes. So I was like standing at the edge of it. And just as I was about to like just take a step just for like, just to see what would happen. Like it sounds scary, but just like I was in my mind, I was just so low at the point where I was like, I don't even know, you know? A voice in my head was like, Ian, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you at the edge of a bridge? What is going on in your mind right now? You have so much to live for. And that was just my subconscious, like reaching out to me. After that, I actually called my dad, because I was also kind of broke. Like I had spent all my money. I think I was 19. I had just turned no, I think I just turned 20. Yeah, that's what happened. So I called my dad and he helped me get out of a little financial rut for a little bit. It was enough to like get me back on my feet and like really just kickstart my photography career. And so I went to my manager for my RA job and she told me I should see a therapist. So I saw a therapist for the first time and she basically told me like, I told her everything that was going on in my life, exactly what I just said. And she was like, obviously you're feeling this way. You have no time to yourself and you're not doing what makes you happy. How are you going to be happy if you're not doing what makes you happy? And I was like, shit, you're right. And then she had me list out the 3 things that made me the happiest. And that was being creative, at that time, photography, and also working out, endorphins from exercise. And that day, like I had a limited amount of time to do those things, but I gave myself 30 minutes to work out, immediately felt better, still had to work for my like residents, had a program, take them bowling, did that, felt better because I went to the gym. And that weekend, took a little road trip from Irvine down to my grandparents' place in San Diego. And along the way, just took photos of everything. Like everything just seemed so beautiful. And it was randomly just a super blood blue moon that night. And like I was photographing that and I was like, what are the odds that this would be happening on like the day that I go drive and like take a chance on myself? And yeah, it was the first time where I was like, man, the universe is like really working out in my favor. And I think there's a reason for that. It's like, we are all part of this huge universe. The universe itself is a huge organism. Like if we do these things that give us purpose in life, then we're doing what our passion is. And it's what makes our brain chemically happy. Like you might as well do them. I think there's a reason why things tend to like work out when you work hard for the things that you love doing. It's because it's your purpose.
I hope you're enjoying this video so far, but before we jump back in, I want to know if you've ever thought about what you need to do to reach the next level of success in your life. Over the last 25 years, I've been an advisor to more than 50 companies. I've invested nearly 100, including Google, Lyft, and Seagate, and I also co-founded a company that today is worth more than $15 billion. I've been incredibly blessed in my journey, and at this stage in my life, I want to give back. I want to share the lessons I've learned so you can reach incredible success way faster than I did. In my own journey, I've learned that having the right mentor is a massive advantage to achieving our goals. I'm hugely passionate about mentoring others, and I'm looking for a few hungry entrepreneurs who are excited to take action on their journey to incredible future success. So if that's you, I've got an opportunity. In the description of this video, there's a link where you can apply to work with me. All you need to do is answer a few simple questions, and if you're a good fit, my team will reach out so we can build a game plan together. All right, now let's get back to the video.
Followers out there, people who look up to you, so many people struggling with their mental health, anxiety, depression. What seems normal to people, parents who don't know, people who hide it. Talk to everyone who's listening.
I would say take a little bit of time, even 10 minutes, to do one thing that makes you happy. As long as it's not hurting anybody or being rude to anyone, chances are the thing that makes you happy is going to be your savior, because it was for me.
And take advantage of the resources that are out there. There's a suicide hotline.
Yes.
People there are there to help you. There are therapists out there if you don't have the money. There's clinics that will help people that don't have money, and go seek out a friend because somebody out there cares about you and loves you. So I think it's very important. Please go get help if you're depressed, have anxiety, or are thinking about hurting yourself.
Yes.
So you're good looking, successful, outgoing, wealthy guy making millions of dollars a year. And a lot of people in your position who are 25 years old will be out on the town, partying, dating girls, doing so many fun things, but you're not doing that. So You told me that you're not even dating. So why?
Yeah, I mean, I do go on dates, right? Like I'm a human being. But I actually just told my friend Calvin, like, I think I'm gonna stop going on dates for a while because I just need to focus on my work and everything. And whenever and I do that from time to time because it's like you gotta focus on yourself. But parties, I go occasionally. Like today, there's a Spotify party that I'm gonna go to because it's a business event. But when it comes to parties, like, oh yeah, let's go get wasted at this one rager at this house, whatever. Even in college, it didn't really appeal to me. Of course, I went to them because I was a college student. You got to experience things, but I wasn't necessarily happy at those parties. I was like, I just felt like I was wasting part of my life whenever I went to those things. Same with like, if I just like sit around and do nothing for too long, like meditation is a different thing. That's productive. But if I'm sitting around just like watching TV for too long or whatever, like I'm just like, what am I want to create something. I want to like do something. And so when it came to party or just fooling around or whatever, like it never appealed to me. And I really care about putting out the stories that I create in my brain. And I care more about like leaving an impact and legacy on this world than anything. And I think most big creators, actors, influencers, businessmen, like businesswomen, business people will know this and understand it because there's much more to life than going out and getting drunk on a weekend. And I think I attest a little bit of like, I attest a lot of this mindset to traveling and having grown up around the world because I know that the world is so much bigger than just the club down the street or whatever. Like, if anything, clubs in other countries are better than the ones in America. So go check out those ones. You'll learn more things too about like how much cooler music there is around the world. Like music's great everywhere, but it's like people can party in different ways that are honestly like maybe even like business parties. You learn things at those things. Like, I don't know. I care more about learning and growing than I do about partying and getting drunk. It's more fun to me, learning.
Let's talk about the importance of giving back, which I think is a great responsibility for people who are successful. There's a misperception that young people don't give back. They don't give back to philanthropy, charity. I know giving back is important to you. So do you need to give back to your community to be successful? And then why don't you do a call out to arms for all the 30 million people out there who you can influence to help positively impact the lives of others?
Yeah. For me, one of the things I wanted to do as a goal that I never told my parents, I don't think I needed to, was help them buy a house or like buy them a house. And so when my dad called me to ask me to help him buy his forever home in Japan, I was like, what the hell, of course. Like he's a very prideful guy, he's a military guy. I love him so much for that. It's one of the reasons why I work so hard. But giving back meant a lot to me, and I was like, how can I provide to the very people who brought me into this planet? Like that's the greatest gift someone could ask for, is life. And so I was like, okay, providing them with a secure, safe home, that's what the hell, like of course I'm gonna do that. And I think to the people who have chosen to follow me and have chosen to follow my story and my journey and be on this awesome journey called life, I would say go into things, of course, for yourself. Take care of yourself. Along the way, there's going to be people who help you. There's going to be people who love you and support you, family members, close friends. Keep them close. Keep the ones that you love close, the ones you relate with and identify with. And once you're at a place where you understand what they had given you and what they did to help you achieve what you've achieved, giving back will just make sense and come to you naturally because you're going to want to. Like you have all this wealth, you have all this success, you have all this like maybe even fame. You're going to want to see the people who helped you succeed. And I think I've always been like that. Like even with Calvin, like this guy's amazing. Like we went to Molokai together and survived in the jungle. And like, it's just like, of course I want to help this guy and like bring him out because he wanted to come out to LA for a long time and bring him out here and come work for me. Like work hard and let's make this thing happen. And just like, I want to see the people that I like I have love for and I see the drive in them succeed, because without them, like, who would I be? Maybe someone different, who knows?
So we're getting to the end of our podcast. I always finish it with a game called Fill in the Blank to Excellence. Are you ready to play?
Shoot, yeah. Okay, fill in the blank to excellence. Okay.
The biggest lesson I've learned in my life is?
Do what makes you happy.
My number one professional goal is?
Become a billionaire.
My biggest regret is?
It's regret. I like to live without regrets, so I don't have one right now.
The one thing I've dreamt of doing for a long time but haven't done is?
Make a movie.
If you go back in time and tell your 21-year-old self something, what would it be?
Well, it was 4 years ago. So I would say, don't worry so much. Yeah.
If you could meet one person in the world, who would it be?
Like a meat?
If you could meet one person in the world, who would it be?
I met him so briefly that I want to meet him again. The Rock. Yeah. So I like his business mindset and his personality.
The one question you wish I had asked you today is?
What advice would a billionaire give to someone who has achieved a lot, success on his own terms, and aims to be a billionaire before 40, and is working on it and kind of knows how he's going to do it, but hasn't done it yet? What advice would a billionaire give?
What do you think they would give?
Act on your goals and your plan.
I asked so many people that as I was going through my career. I think I told you a few weeks ago that I was a terrible lawyer. I set a world record, the world's worst start to a legal career, 3 jobs in 8 months, came out to LA, laid off and fired after 5.5 weeks with $3,000 in the bank. I went to law school as a means to an end, hated every minute of it. I mean, I loved Northwestern, I'm very involved there, I'm on the board, I give back, super passionate about the school, but I hated what I was learning and knew ultimately I wanted to choose a business career. But I wrote letters to CEOs when I had nothing, asking for informational interviews, not job interviews, and got a lot of meetings. And a lot of those were billionaires. And I asked the same question, and it was passion, follow your dreams, don't take no, don't listen to the naysayers, don't listen to people telling you things are impossible, because I have a slogan, anything is possible.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good to hear, because like I'm putting into action a plan that I've had for my YouTube channel for a while now, and it's been working. But of course, like there's some people who like say like this might not work, you gotta look at this, but in my mind, like I just know it's gonna work. And that's why I had that like a little bit of anxiety yesterday. But then when I saw those kids come up to me and like to see that in-person like fascination from video to in-person, I was like, what am I worried about? Like, Ian, you're killing the game, keep doing it, just do what you do. And that makes a lot of sense.
I personally think that luck should not be part of your personal business plan. When I have my own personal business plan, luck is not on this paper.
Yeah.
It's not on the paper, but Mark Cuban was on my show, and he said you can't become a billionaire if you're not lucky. What do you think about that statement?
I've never met Mark Cuban. I know he's very successful. So I can't say anything on his way of achieving success, but I always think that I'm unlucky, and that's what made me work so hard towards what I've been able to achieve. Like, I didn't have a video that I truly loved go viral until 1 whole year of posting 3 videos every single day. Like, how unlucky does that sound? Like 3 videos for a whole year every single day, and nothing goes super viral that I genuinely love. That's crazy. But who knows, maybe I was lucky to have that one video go viral. But to me, in my mind, I think I worked really hard. I studied the algorithms, I studied like what was going on. And then I kind of said like, fuck it, let me just post something that I really like. did and that went viral, some people could call that lucky, but I think for me, I see that more as I decided to give myself a chance. And it worked out for me. After, of course, a year of building up a community too and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's interesting. I will say, maybe be open to the factor of luck coming into your life and then acting on that as best as you can. Yeah.
So we chatted a few weeks ago, and again, I super appreciate you being on my show. This is just fascinating. I've learned a ton, and I think people watching and listening have as well.
Yeah.
When we chatted for about an hour.
Yeah.
And you had a bunch of questions. You had a bunch of questions for me. Are there any questions you want to ask on my show that you think would be helpful to your followers to motivate and inspire them?
Yeah. What advice would you give to younger kids, younger adults, teens, 20s, who you've already kind of given like the advice on this podcast, but what advice would you give them that want to find something that makes them happy, but they don't exactly know how to get there yet?
So the first thing I would tell them is to tell them that anxiety is normal.
Yeah.
And to not have anxiety, because anxiety creates more anxiety.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, people find where they should go and where they need to go.
Yeah.
So, but telling someone that at a young age doesn't really help them.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a data point in the back of their mind.
Yeah.
I do believe, and I'm a huge proponent of this, and it's going to be in my book called Extreme Preparation, that you have to write down your goals. All this anxiety, it's like there's clutter in your head, and if you have to declutter all of these ideas and what's important to you. So I ask people, what are the 5 things you're best at?
Yeah.
What are the 5 things you're worst at? What are your 5 dream jobs? What are the 5 jobs that you would never want to have?
Yeah.
And what are your best traits and skill sets, and what are your worst?
Yeah.
And I tell people this should take you at least a week, 20 hours. You should just start jotting it down, moving things around. We've talked about some things already.
Yeah.
And it really shakes people out in a big way.
Oh, yeah.
But like you said, I think money should rank lower on the list, obviously. And we live in an expensive city. Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, they're expensive. Right? And the cost of living here is very high. So it's got to be on the list at some point.
Yeah.
Right? But I ate pizza when I got out here 3 nights a week. Two medium pies for $9.99.
Yeah. I ate rice. Just rice.
Came to my house when I was intern in Washington, D.C., working for the National Crime Prevention Council. I went to the Safeway and GW in the Watergate building, box 99 cents. I got 4 meals out of that. I was there to learn, and I think learning is most important, but you have to be passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can't be successful long term, and things won't work out. So the other thing I would say is work ethic is the most important determinant of our success.
Yeah.
End all be all. I don't think you can get lucky without working the most.
Yeah.
And I have a saying which I teach, which is FILO. And if you FILO it, you're going to be successful at whatever you do. First in, last out. I don't care if you have a regular job. I mean, as a YouTuber, influencer, it may not work like that, but obviously you work your ass off. And I think the harder you work, the more successful you be. But for most people who are going to get a traditional job, which is 99.9% of the people who are going to go work for somebody else as their first job, you got to be the first one in and the last one out. And I don't care what you're doing, what job you're doing, you'll be immensely successful if you follow that plan.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And going back to that anxiety cluster thing, there's a quote in that the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success book that I read where it talks about meditation a lot, but when you're constantly thinking about these things that you want to do and like, oh, I like whatever, like the anxiety gets clustered, it's like an ocean with waves going everywhere. If the Empire State Building falls into the ocean, nothing will change. Like it's just constant waves, like nothing's gonna happen. But if you drop a penny into a still pond, you will see the waves ripple everywhere, and that idea will be so much more prominent in your brain. And when you meditate on these things and give yourself time to like decluster and write out those goals and everything, I think that's what happens where the ocean in your brain becomes a still pond, and you can really identify like what's dropping in there and what the ideas of influence are in your brain. Yeah, it's cool.
Any other questions?
I'm good. That's awesome.
I appreciate you being here. Ian, thanks for being on my show.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you very much. Looking forward to getting to know you better, and we'll be hanging for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, so I really liked how you asked me all these questions before going in, because at first I was like, wait, is he interrogating me or something? But then I was like, wait, no, he's interviewing me pre-interview to get the best out of his interview. And I think that was really good to do, because it wasn't like scripted per se. It was more so like you wanted to get the best questions out and the most efficient way of going about them. And I appreciated that as a content creator, because I script out my videos all the time. Like I do scripted content, unless I'm doing like a reaction video or a challenge, and that's not scripted. But I like scripting things because like you can, it's not a sense of like having to control something, but it's more so like you can let the free flow better, because you have an idea of where you want the story to go, and you have an idea of what you want to learn from the person. So I like that a lot.
Okay.
Definitely the most prepared interview that I had, so I really like that. So thanks for asking those questions beforehand. I appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, man, awesome.